welcome to the latest episode of Nerds Amalgamated. I'm the Professor, and my co-hosts are Bucky and DJ.
Hey guys.
How you going?
What have you guys been up to?
Laughing up a storm.
Yeah, my fault. If we ever make a blooper reel, that'll be in it.
Oh yeah. Actually, I've just seen something that is going to rock the DJ's world. Unicorn Fruit Loops.
No way, get out. Get
What
out.
are they, Fruit Loops with glitter?
I don't know. It was just something a friend posted on Facebook. I think they're going to make some
Wait, is this a show intro or are we just chatting
Yeah.
up before?
Yeah, no, it's serious.
So you'd better remember to add Unicorn Fruit Loops to the show notes, or I will hunt you down.
Well, you put it
I
on
will
general
lend you.
instead of show notes, so.
Or put it back in the show notes section.
So there you go.
Our first topic today is from our most incompetent host, the DJ.
So, just recently, Titan Comics and Alcone Media today released a trailer for Blade Runner 2019, a new comic book series set in the Blade Runner universe. So, this series will be coming in July, and it'll be set in the same era as the Blade Runner film, and it will have a cast and an original, and be written by screenwriter Michael Green, who wrote Logan, with Mike Johnson, who wrote Star Trek and Superman and Batman, and art will be done by Andreas Naldo. And they gave us a very short synopsis, which is based series hero Ash, female Blade Runner, will over the course of 12 issues search missing family of a billionaire with connection company that I think that's a very story.
Yeah, I wonder if I assume the family is going to be Tyrell family.
Why?
Well, because Tyrell Corp created the replicants.
Yeah, but it just
Or
said
at least the
someone.
Nexus.
It was just saying someone associated with the company.
Yeah, true.
So it could be, I don't know, someone who financed.
Yeah, or they could even go full retcon and instead just have it have some small company that invented the replicants that then got overtaken by Tyrell.
Or it could actually be the original genetic supply.
Yeah, it was never clear about that. Replicants are like clones, aren't they?
Essentially, with robotic or cybernetic enhancements
Yeah.
for some of it. So
The movie's less clear about it than the book, but in the book it's made pretty clear that they're not human, but they're completely indistinguishable from a human unless you do an autopsy.
yeah, which is the reason why he has to ask so many different questions to try and get the response.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way, but they must basically clones with substandard brains.
You mean they're politicians?
No, I wouldn't lump politicians in with some of the best villains in movies.
But the original ones might have been dumber.
Yeah, well, that's the plot of the book. One of the points they make is that the newest generation of Tyrell replicants are called Nexus 5s, I believe, and there's rumors of a even more advanced Nexus 6. And the cops are all getting antsy because they're worried that since the Nexus 5 is so close to being human, the Nexus 6 will be completely indistinguishable.
So what about the Nexus 8?
That model gets cancelled and replaced by the Pixel line.
Okay.
I think this is a good idea to introduce the world of Blade Runner to wider audience in terms of world building.
Yeah, like there's a lot of world building in both the book and the movie, but there's a lot of side stories you can tell in that universe.
As long as it doesn't end up like the Star Wars universe, where there's so many different authors writing up all these different books and things that go off on their own tangent away from the original canon. And then when the original author or someone says, no, well, that's not right, you have a bunch of fans all going, oh, but we like that more.
Yeah, that's turned into a bit of a mess.
Like it's just Blade Runner. You gotta keep it pure. It's got to stay true to the original story and concept. It can't get too airy fairy. It's got to keep that grittiness. So anything else there for us with that, DJ?
So far, they're saying that so the founders of Titan that they're extremely excited to be published comic series. It's barely been explored, and there's so much there. It's an honor to bring the world new ways. So yeah, I agree with the whole canon thing. But I'm just wondering though, because there is word that there'll be a sequel. There'll be a Blade Runner work.
Well,
So-
there already is Blade Runner 2049.
Oh no, I meant after.
Okay.
So there's another Blade Runner after 2049. So I'm wondering whether this comics be part of the whole universe.
I love the cover art though. It's in the article in the show notes.
Yeah.
And they've got an image of the first issue art, which is some absolutely gorgeous cyberpunk.
I like the outfit, especially. It's sticking with the true characters in the book.
Did you guys know Shadow?
Yeah, that's Rachel from the movies, isn't it?
Yeah. So are they actually alluding that she might also herself be a replicant?
That would make a lot of sense.
Because wasn't it? It's been a while since I've last watched the original movie. Wasn't that something that they were alluding to with the original Blade Runner movie and in the book? Was that he himself, as the Blade Runner, was also a replicant?
Yeah, it's been quite a long time since I've read or watched it. Although I actually have it right, like just out of arm's reach, the book there. But I'm pretty sure in the book, Deckard was a human, and in the movie they confirmed him to be a replicant.
Okay.
But then I haven't seen 2049, so that might be different.
All right. Oh.
The
So what's the release date on this?
The release date be
It's July 7th.
July 7th.
Okay.
I
Cool.
want to see more of besides the comics. Like, cool to see like a game.
Speaking of which, I brought it up during the meeting the other day, but a bit of an honourable mention to the fan group who has spent 8 years working on patches for the 1997 Blade Runner game, where you play as a Blade Runner and the replicants are randomly generated. So you have to travel through the city and track down actual replicants.
It was a lot of fun, that game.
Mind you,
I'm going to download it and check it out
Although
sometime.
you get in trouble if you shot too many of the wrong people.
It tends to happen in real life too.
Although, mind you, this is the same studio that inspired Dune strategy games and also Command and Conquer as well.
Yeah, it's Westwood.
Yeah.
Tragically murdered by EA.
Although they did do very well with June. Command and Conquer, a little bit iffy. I can hear the DJ's fuse popping out now. He's gone silent. I have broken him.
But yeah, I said I'd like to see more of that. I've got you guys got to jump on it.
No, then we should probably just move along. Unless I'm happy.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm probably going to find a way to pick up a copy when it comes out. But our next topic is controversy over Pokemon Sword and Shield.
No, not controversy over Pokemon.
Yeah, this is the biggest controversy I've ever seen over a Pokemon game.
What's happening?
They announced a few days ago that they're not going to be bringing every Pokemon forward.
Oh, no.
The last time they broke sort of continuity of being able to bring your Pokemon between games was back after the second generation when they moved to Game Boy Advance. And I understand there's no way to bring Pokemon forward that way. But ever since then, you've been able to spend $5 a month or whatever it comes to for a subscription to Pokemon Bank, where you can transfer your Pokemon. So even if you only play by yourself, you can use a Nintendo DS to transfer Pokemon from 3rd gen all the way up to, I think, 8th gen. And now this newest generation, Sword and Shield, has decided to do away with all that. And people are not happy.
I wouldn't blame them. I mean, it's at this stage. I mean, Pokemon Shield is like a DLC where you're adding in new material onto a already a good game.
That's been every generation of Pokemon. Each generation they try something different and pretty much forget about it by the next generation. It's really weird that they don't seem to carry over the way you'd think. Like I've seen a lot of comparisons here with Mega Evolutions and Z moves from the past couple of generations that, for whatever reason, weren't brought forwards. What confuses me is that they have 800 Pokemon, which is fair. There's a ton of them, but the level of animation isn't really that great, even though they're bragging about it. And the only just a few years back, they created what they called future-proof model every Pokemon, so that they wouldn't need to keep upgrading them for a few years. So I don't know why there's such a worry about overworking their staff to bring the Pokemon forwards.
Maybe Nintendo is trying to say to the customer, hey, you know what? We're gonna try something. We're gonna be moving on. Tear down the past. Forget the past. This Sword and Shield is going to be the best in Nintendo ever. So stuff the past. This is the future.
Well, they're not doing that though. They're bringing forward a selection of Pokemon from the previous games. And I haven't seen anywhere where they're saying what Pokemon are coming, how many of them there are, but it's definitely not the full 800.
Well, it's more like 50 at best, 55.
Now, you know what it is. You're going to move them all over into Super Smash Brothers.
Oh,
No, I
So
was talking to my
they can
friends
do
the
a
other day.
7-hour video of the release of all the new characters.
I was talking to my friends the other day, and there's already half a dozen Pokemon in Smash. So,
seriously?
there's the 3 starters from Generation 1, although some of them are evolved. So you get, I think, Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard. There's Lucario, Jigglypuff, Pichu,
Greninja,
Greninja,
Mewtwo, Pokemon, Incineroar.
Yeah. So Pokemon Trainer is a combination of Charizard, Squirtle, and Ivysaur. They had all of them in those 3 as individual Pokemon in the older versions.
Mm-hmm. But I just thought because they had every other Nintendo character has been brought into the latest Smash Brothers release, so I thought maybe they were going to just bring all of the Pokemon characters in there now.
Well, that would be really cool. I mean, there's already like 50 other Pokemon as well who are basically item drops. You pick up a Pokeball on the stage, throw it, and a Pokemon pops out and helps you fight. But it would be such an insane amount of work. It would be amazing to have Super Smash Brothers Pokemon with all 800 Pokemon.
But isn't there already a game called like a fighting game which has all the Pokemon, just similar to Smash Brothers? Isn't that like
No, it's Pokken, and it doesn't have that many Pokemon in it.
What about Pokemon Stadium?
Yeah, they haven't made a Pokemon Stadium in years. And even then, they only have a subset of Pokemon.
Oh, that'd be... But, so when does Sword and Shield come out?
I don't think I've actually seen a release date yet. I think it's due in 2020.
Okay.
But it's 20, so it'll be a while before I think they'll fix it up. Maybe about 3 months from now, they'll announce the changes to how many.
No, I think they're serious about this and they're not planning to bring them forwards, which is understandable. It is an insane amount of work to keep supporting thousands of Pokemon for forever, basically. It's just kind of disappointing that even though they future-proofed it a couple of years ago, and game graphically isn't anything special, that they're not able to bring them all forwards.
Mm-hmm.
It is adding, though, a new feature called Wild Zone, which is kind of like the drop-in, drop-out multiplayer you see in Dark Souls, where occasionally you'll just run into another player. But it combines that with the wild Pokemon that you see in the Let's Go games, where the Pokemon are just out for a stroll and you can run up and capture them.
Okay. It looks like it could be really interesting. So, yeah, hopefully they don't stuff it up.
Yeah, it'll probably blow over eventually, but it's just the latest controversy storm.
Maybe it'll be an upgrade that when they bring out the Switch 2 next year, they'll be able to bring it all in with that and make it more special.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see if in a few years they manage to pull it all together again.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So our next topic is from Buck.
It is. We're actually suffering a glut of clothing and textiles, and there's some people that are working to give new life to all those textiles that aren't able to be recycled through charity stores, etc. So there's a materials engineer at the University of New South Wales by the name of Veena Sahajwala, and I hope I got that right, who's working on it, because on the macro level, the textiles are ripping apart, but on the micro level, the fibers are still really good. And so they're working on a process that's different. It's going to be different for synthetic fabrics like polyester, obviously, which are shredded and granulated to form into plastic pellets called nurdles. But then there's another part of the waste from the woman, which is called shoddy. You love when they come up with these names, don't you?
Yeah.
Shoddy and nurdles. But they're looking to find ways of being able to reuse these materials so that instead of just having them go to land waste and so forth, Yeah.
This
It's actually a pretty big thing going on around the world as well at the moment, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of a pushback to natural fibers, like wool and cotton, because plastic fibers are linked to microplastics in the ocean.
Yeah, not just in the ocean, but you're also breathing them in.
Yeah.
Every
I wonder,
every time you use a zipper that's on a nylon sweatshirt, it's putting microfibers into the air that you breathe.
that's
just
terrifying.
That's the reason why I did it in that voice. I want you to be scared of it.
reminds me of I don't know if you guys are familiar with that show War on Waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the hosts did a pile up of clothes and Martin Place, and apparently we waste 6,000 kilograms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this article says throw away 6 kilos every 10 minutes.
Which, when you think about it, a shirt is only, like, depending on the person and the material, is usually only weighed in grams. It's not weighed by kilogram.
Yeah.
So to get 10 kilos, that's a bag, like a garbage bag size.
Well, we see innovation. There's also 3D printing in the world of fashion. That's also well.
Well, that's with the nurdles. That's one of the things they're looking at, using the plastic fibers and all that are going into 3D printing of stuff. So, like, there's even there's people who are making handbags and bags out of old clothes and so forth. So yeah, we've gotten into too much of a throwaway society. People need to start repairing their items a bit more.
So does that mean we get to play Macklemore and go to the shop?
You can go to the thrift shop if you like. I'm a little bit too big for the thrift shop. They generally don't have clothes in my size.
Yeah, and I go to the op shop because I'm Australian.
What?
That Suncorp ad has completely ruined that song for me. I am so sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of those ads has driven me nuts for the past 2 years or whatever it's been on.
Mm-hmm. But actually, I owe you an apology. I thought you said 6 kilograms. It's 6 tons of clothing every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misheard you. I thought you said 6 kilograms. So that stuff you saw piled up, DJ?
Yeah.
That's 6 tons. And that's being thrown, that's every 10 minutes by Australians alone. Could you imagine what would be coming out of France and America?
I wonder how big fashion trees react to line of fabric.
Well, it's not just been used into clothing. Like, there's a picture here with Vina where she's actually got some of the materials are being turned into tiles. And I have seen articles where in some parts of India they're making plastic roads, so they're recycling all the plastic. And plastic roads are apparently more durable.
And the microplastics that will come from breaking, like the road breaking down under the weight of the cars, aren't great. But the first step to reducing microplastics is to keep reusing the plastic we do have.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's with the way that it's treated. The breakdown is actually less pollution put out from that than there is from bitumen, because it's armored style plastic. I can't remember all the process off the top of my head. Sorry, but
you mean you don't know everything off the top of your head?
No, when you get to a certain age, it's you start to have so many memories of so many different things. You struggle to pull them all out at once. But there was a study done that showed that trucks and everything going across the plastic roads, because they got them in other areas of the world where, like in I think it's Sweden or Norway, they've actually got solar panels that are built into the road surface in certain areas.
You mean solar freaking roadways?
Yeah. With that sort of technology, they've studied to see what sort of emissions dust is coming up from the actual road. And they've compared that to a bitumen road and a concrete road, and the plastic surface is actually putting out less pollution from the actual road surface. Haven't you heard about the solar panel roadways?
Only every time it's been debunked in the past 5 years or whatever since the guy announced it. No,
there's actually active bikeways that are using it and so forth, and he's working on it still for the actual roadways, but they've got it for a long. Like, they got the solar panels in the center and so forth, and footpaths.
I'll have to check it out.
What's also interesting how we back this is recycle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back in the day, we always say like, "Oh, you have to recycle this stuff," and the message doesn't get. It's always, who cares? Recycle. Now we're seeing the change.
Well, it's I think Sweden have brought in. There's actually a tax. If you buy new stuff, you get charged a certain amount. But if you actually go for the get it repaired, get items repaired, you actually get a tax refund and rebate. So they've actually built it into and as a part of the economic model that there's things are being repaired.
Well, that's great to hear. So let's move on. What have you been playing, Buck?
I've been playing Assassin's Creed 2 again.
Are you any closer to finishing the game?
Oh, heck no. I'm having too much fun just running around killing the bad guys. I just have fun running around and just doing aerial assassinations and that sort of stuff.
You done the pickpocket mission?
Oh, you get a few of those, but yeah, that's more of the you got to do those to get the money to pay for your upgrades and new items of clothing. But yeah, part of the fun of Assassin's Creed is just running around a town and just killing all the guards.
What about you, DJ?
I've been playing a bit of MK11 with newest character that's been released, which is Shang Tsung, an old favorite of the MK universe. And interestingly, the voice actor version of Shang Tsung is the guy who played as Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat movie. It's pretty cool.
They made more than one of those movies?
Two, which
Wow.
was Mortal Kombat, the
Is
first
it
one.
only two? I thought there was more.
Oh, there's two, but then afterwards, then there was the series and the multiple series. But yeah, the first Kerry Tokugawa is the first Shang Tsung, voice of Shang Tsung, and it's very cool to play him. Very cool to hear his voice. Oh, soulless. That kind of dialogue, it just sends you chill.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I'm not scared of that because I don't have a soul. I've been playing Crypt of the Necrodancer. I've actually been playing the Switch version. I own the PC version, but the Switch version was on a really great sale.
Okay.
They've just released a Cadence of Hyrule crossover. So it's Crypt of the Necrodancer, but with Zelda mechanics and stuff. I haven't played that yet, but basically it's a rhythm game in the form of a roguelike.
Okay. So it sounds a little bit creepy. It sounds like something the DJ might play there. Like the Crypt of the Necrodancer kind of gives me a vision of pole dancing.
There's no pole dancing.
There's no pole dancing?
I think Bucky's
Sorry, DJ.
I think Bucky's confused between the Crypt of the Necrodancer to Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
See, I told you he'd be all over that.
Yeah, the original music to Crypt of the Necrodancer is really
Okay.
and I see the Steam version from the show notes. They've added a bunch of new content since I last played the PC version. I'm not sure if that made it into the Switch version or not, though.
Mm-hmm. Who actually did the music for that? Do we know?
Yeah, his name is Danny Baranowski.
I have to give him a listen there, folks. It's actually quite fun.
There's also a hilarious video on YouTube of Total Biscuit trying to play with, like, a DDR dance mat.
So anything ridiculously cool other than the music about the game?
Well, it's just a really interesting twist on two genres.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen a rhythm-based roguelike before.
I gotta say, just looking at the video here, it's looking a lot of fun.
Yeah, so on to our shout-outs for tonight. On the 24th of April, LEGO introduced Braille bricks to help visually impaired kids, and which joins their other social vision project, which is to become renewable energy powered, which they also completed ahead of schedule earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
On 15th of June 1919, the British aviators John Alcock and Arthur Brown completed the first non-stop transatlantic flight in a Vickers Vimy bomber from Newfoundland to Ireland. Winston Churchill presented them with a Daily Mail prize of £10,000. They also carried a small amount of mail, making it the first transatlantic airmail flight. And also in aviation, on the 18th of June 1981, the F-117 Nighthawk had its maiden flight at Groom Lake, Nevada. The pilot was Harold C. Farley Jr., and it's a beautiful looking plane.
Mm-hmm. So much technology in that one particular plane that would just be fun to play with.
Yeah, and looking at the shape of the stealth bombers that came out around then, including the 117, this is also around the time that triangular UFOs started being reported, I believe, which turns out to be this plane flying over.
Yep.
In a lot of cases.
I actually remember when the first photos of this came out, and it was just everyone was just so excited because it was one of the things that was just so hard to get hold of because the Air Force had been keeping everyone at ridiculous distances away from it. And then when the first photo came out, everyone was just like, ooh. And the Air Force was like, oh, no. That's obviously some dodgy mock-up photo. It's not real. Then they waited a while before they actually came out and admitted that it was actually their plane.
Yeah, I wonder what we're seeing these days that gets brushed off. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was those UFO sightings from the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, they got the new UFO sightings are cigar shaped. So I like to see the planes that are responsible for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will have to wait another 30 years for the Freedom of Information request.
Yeah, although it'll disappear in amongst all the paperwork and be hidden away again.
What? We stored it next to the JFK archive, and both of them burnt down in that completely unpredictable fire in this sealed fireproof vault? Not possible.
Well, didn't they reseal a lot of the stuff from the JFK investigation under national security?
Yeah,
for another 100 years.
Due to be released a couple of years ago now, and they decided they couldn't do that.
So, yes, very interesting.
Yep. Hello, CIA.
Just hope those UFOs weren't piloted by the Penguins.
No, well, if it was piloted by the Penguins, we wouldn't see it because they're too clever.
The Penguins only want you to think they're flightless birds.
It's all an illusion.
Now for the remembrances, before the CIA catches on and has us disappeared. On the 17th of June 2019, Gloria Vanderbilt, the American artist, author, actress, fashion designer, heiress, and socialite of the Vanderbilt family of New York and mother of CNN anchor Anderson Cooper. In the 1970s, Gloria launched a line of fashions, perfume, and household goods with her name, and she was an early developer of designer blue jeans. In 1974, Paul McCartney released Mrs. Vanderbilt, a song based on her life. She died of stomach cancer at 95 in New York City. And on the 18th of June, 1673, Jean Mance, French nurse and settler of New France, arrived in New France 2 years after the Ursuline nuns came to Quebec. She was among the founders of Montreal in 1642 and established its first hospital, the Hotel Dieu de Montreal. Yes, my pronunciation is off. In 1645.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 1657, she recruited sisters of the, I'm not even going to try to say that, but Religious Hospital of St. Joseph, and died after a long illness at 66 in Montreal. You guys want to have a go at the Religieuses Hospitaliers?
You actually came pretty close. It's Religieuses Hospitaliers de Saint Joseph.
Okay, I did better than I thought. On the 18th of June 1928, Roald Amundsen, the Norwegian explorer of the polar regions and a key figure in the heroic age of Antarctic exploration, he led the first expedition to traverse the Northwest Passage in 1906. And the first expedition to the South Pole in 1911. He led the first expedition proven to have reached the North Pole in 1986. He disappeared taking part in a rescue mission for the airship Italia at 55.
He would have been a tough bloke, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he had to be something special to be an Antarctic explorer at that point.
But the thing is, he was a Norwegian polar explorer in the days when they didn't have all the fancy stuff that they do these days to help you survive.
Yeah, it's when I was over there a couple of years ago, I went to a museum about Arctic exploration, and it's really hard to imagine surviving in equipment they had there.
Mm.
Now, our next remembrance is one Buck will enjoy ranting about. For Triple X Tentacles, the American rapper, singer, and songwriter.
The world became a better place last year.
For clarity, it's Triple X Tentacion, so...
Yeah, he was a mumble rapping idiot who got shot in a robbery. Still not sure whether it was actually he was conducting the robbery or he was being robbed.
From what I've gathered, he was being...
Yeah.
So his
Why would you rob him?
Hey, robbing famous celebrities is a thing. But when people started robbing Kanye West...
That happened once. They broke into his and Kim Kardashian's suite. Apparently. There's still questions about that. Like, if you saw someone walking down the street looking like him, you wouldn't think, oh, this is someone who's got lots of money. Honestly, like, if you see someone walking down the street looking like this, you'd think, okay, that's someone who's suffering a terminal disease and in a lot of pain. Let's help kill them to put them out of their misery.
Yeah, his style was inspired by Cruella de Vil.
Don't insult Cruella. She actually had style. This was more of an inspired by Michael Jackson's Black and White, and we have to congratulate Joe Jackson. He was the first black father to successfully beat the black out of his kid.
Oh.
And these mumble rappers are all seem to be trying to copy. They're definitely beating something.
And if you check his Wikipedia page, there is a very long section about his controversy, his legal issues, his feuds with other performers. Now, was this the guy who, before he got killed, was saying, "Come on, kill me"? Or was that one of the other ones?
If it was others, I would help. I would go, okay, look, you're obviously asking for help. And I would drive him all the way to Victoria so I can help euthanize him.
Oh, yeah, I remember one of these mumble rappers. A few days before he got killed, some other mumble rapper threatened his life, and he was like, "Come on, do it." And then he got killed, and I was like, "Well, you said to do it."
Yeah. I'm just looking through his Wikipedia page here, and Onfroy, is that his name? Onfroy.
Yeah, his name's Jarset Onfroy.
Okay. This is weirder. Apparently, one of his biggest influences was Cage the Elephant.
Who's that?
I have no idea, but with a name like that, I've got to check them out. Apparently, it's a rock band from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Anyway, before Buck makes any more death threats against mumble rappers as a class.
I'm not making death threats. I'm just offering to help put them out of their misery and make the world a better place.
Our next section is the famous birthdays. On the 15th of June 1953, Xi Jinping, Chinese dictator for life, was born. He is noted for his resemblance to Winnie the Pooh and was born in Beijing. And I am now officially banned from China.
I'm actually moving farther away from my microphone in case it explodes. You were saying I was being mean to the mumble rappers, and you just insulted the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, the country where their secret service is so secret that nobody even knows their name.
His name's Dave.
The secret service, not the person.
Oh.
Yeah, see, you even slipped yourself up there. If you actually look carefully out of the corner of your eye, there's a Chinese spy there coming to get you now.
I will sleep with my eyes open.
Maybe he might be that construction worker.
Oh, there are construction workers out the back of my work at the moment.
See, they're following
not Chinese though.
But how do you know they're not Chinese?
I'm going to get lynched for this because they're white. You kind of gives it away.
I've seen some Chinese that are pretty white.
We've so got to edit this out.
They're all white with me.
You are killing it with the dad jokes tonight.
That's because I'm so sexy.
I think we broke the professor again.
Our next birthday is the 18th of June 1942. Paul McCartney of the Beatles. As of 2009, he had 25.5 million RIAA certified units in the United States, and written or co-written 32 songs that reached number one on Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah.
He's a two-time inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and 18-time Grammy Award winner. And he's a member of the Order of the British Empire. So he's technically Sir Paul McCartney.
Mm-hmm.
He's worked to promote international charities for animal rights, seal hunting, landmines, vegetarianism, poverty, music education. He's been married 3 times and has 5 kids. He is also estimated to have $1.2 billion. He was born in Liverpool.
Yeah, you gotta love the fact that since he sang that song with Kanye West, his career's going to take off now.
Yeah, Kanye himself said that, didn't he?
No, not that I'm aware of, but I overheard, like someone at uni told me that they'd overheard someone saying that. I literally just cried, like the sheer stupidity and ignorance involved in that. And then someone tried to tell me they didn't know who Joe Cocker was, and I started listening to all the songs.
If you had to murder for that,
I couldn't. I was just I was too busy crying. Just like, how can someone be alive that can be that ignorant and studying at university at the same time?
I don't know. They let the DJ in. Not even going to buy that one. All right. Our next birthday is the 18th of June, 1973. Julie Depardieu, a French actress, daughter of Gerard Depardieu and Elizabeth Depardieu. I'm getting worse at saying this the more I say it.
What name?
Depardieu. What is wrong with me?
Oh, the list The list is too long. We'd have to start a whole new show.
She's won 2 Caesar Awards for Best Supporting Actress and Best Young Actress for La Petite Lily, and won Best Supporting Actress for Un Secret. She was born in Paris.
What's her sister's name?
She doesn't have a sister.
She was a sister of. Oh, it's a brother, is it? What's her brother's name?
Guilherme.
Guilherme who?
Depardieu.
Oh my god, Professor, you are so tongue-tied today.
It's a genetic thing. My tongue's too big for my mouth. I have to keep it rolled up. And on to the events of interest. On the 18th of June 1928, aviator Amelia Earhart becomes the first woman to fly an aircraft across the Atlantic Ocean. Oh no, sorry, she flew in the aircraft. Her pilot was Wilma Stoltz, and mechanic was Lou Gordon. She would later go missing flying across the Pacific. On the
She was
18th,
abducted by the penguin.
on the 18th of June 1940, Winston Churchill delivered this was their finest hour speech to the House of Commons of the United Kingdom. It was given a month after he took office as Prime Minister, and was made after France had sought an armistice on the evening of the 16th of June.
Mm-hmm.
On the 18th of June 1983, on Space Shuttle launch STS-7, astronaut Sally Ride becomes the first American woman in space. And on the 18th of June 2009, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter was launched in conjunction with Lunar Crater Observation and Sensing Satellite as the vanguard of NASA's Lunar Precursor Robotic Program. It was the first US mission to the moon in over 10 years. And that's all of the events of interest for tonight. DJ, where can they find us?
The Facebook. They can find us on Twitter at @namalgamate. Feedback or comments, email us at nerds.amalgamate@gmail.com. They can also find us on that'snotcanon.com, an archive of our old episodes and merchandise. And
What the heck?
I'm stunned.
Did you kick your leg up to the side there when you said that?
No.
And do the poise like merchandise. The spirit fingers in the air and
Actually,
head to the side.
I did the spirit fingers, but not the no, not the legs. But we've also are on Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes. But yeah, we're everywhere.
And check out our friends at the That's Not Canon.com website, who are in many other podcasts. You guys have any shout outs for this week?
The laughter experiment.
The Literal Clowns.
Yes, not like us. They are actually funny.
So yes, check out the Laughter Experiment. Sorry, it's the Humor Experiment, isn't it?
I thought it was it might be the humor experiment. Sorry.
Yeah, so check out the Humor Experiment at That's Not Canon and let them know we sent you. But that's all from us this week, so we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Hooroo. Before we go though, remember to look after yourselves, take care of each other, and stay hydrated.